HRV, what is it? Why is it useful? Why you should be looking at that? Well, no worries, in this video we're all going to be talking about that. I personally have always had a very good HRV until the last couple of weeks. The last couple of weeks, all of a sudden, without really changing anything into my training, it just dropped. So that's also when I started paying a little bit more attention to it, also dig into science, and in this video I will share with you what I have found out. So first of all, HRV stands for heart rate variability, and that actually means the variation of time between two heartbeats. This is measured in milliseconds, so for us personally it is impossible to register. However, luckily nowadays wearable devices such as running watches are very good at tracking those variations. Now, HRV, so the heart rate variability, is controlled by the automatic nervous system. So just to make it a bit easier, ANS. And ANS shows the relation between the parasympathetic, so the rest and digest system, and the sympathetic, the fight and flight system of our body. When we are just, for example, sitting down, sleeping, doing relaxation exercises, then our parasympathetic system is going to take over. However, when we are in a lot of stress or training, then our sympathetic system is going to take over. When our sympathetic system is activated, heart rate will go up. When the parasympathetic system is activated, then our heart rate will go down. Now, the functioning a little bit of our ANS is to keep those two in balance. When we see, for example, that our sympathetic system is taking over, then also our HRV is going to drop. When we see that our parasympathetic system is taking over, then our HRV is going to rise. So actually our HRV is going to show a little bit how our NAS is dealing with all the stress that we're currently handling. And this is where it becomes interesting for runners. So I found a study that says that during intense training weeks, our HRV can drop by 41%. However, if we're taking proper rest, then also our HRV can go up again with 46%. So that again indicates how important rest is for our body. And then another study that I found followed a recreational female runner for 20 weeks, and that showed that both her HRV and also performance improved. This is all very interesting, but what for me personally was very interesting is that even though she didn't really feel it yet, her HRV dropped, and then a couple of days later she got a cold. So also our HRV is very sensible to any kind of sicknesses coming up. Now, combining the article that I've mentioned before and then also knowing this, HRV can be a pretty good tool to change trainings if needed. Now, obviously I also had to have a deeper look into this, and the science says that, for example, HRV can be used to eventually swap training sessions. So for example, if you have a hard training session planned but your HRV is already low for a couple of days, then it might be better to swap it for an easier session. This will help with giving your body a bit more time to recover, and then also the harder session to do it more qualitatively. On the other hand, it will also help with injury prevention, and we all know as runners that the more consistent we can be training, the more progress we will be making also in the long term. Now, meta-analysis pointed out that there's only one big but with this training approach. We can only rely on HRV measurement if the same protocol is used every day. So for example, if every day at 7 a.m. before you go to the toilet or you just woken up, you take your measurement. If, for example, one day you do it like this, the other day you do it after going to the toilet, the other day after having your coffee, etc., then also the measurement is not going to be that accurate, and also the information getting from it is not going to be that reliable. Nonetheless, HRV is a great tool to see how your nervous system is reacting to your training load and also just stress from daily life. But I personally, as a certified running coach, wouldn't be basing my programs solely on HRV. Now, for example, the reason why the last couple of weeks my HRV has been pretty low is because I've been traveling non-stop. And because with all the traveling, you come to a new location, you need to find a rhythm, you get into your rhythm and then you go again. On top of that, doing a marathon training is just a lot of stress for your body. So even though I was doing qualitative training sessions, the stress of just my daily life was putting so much extra stress on my nervous system that my HRV has dropped. Now that I found a little bit of peace, my HRV is going back up again, and also during the day I do feel more relaxed. So that is just an example also how HRV can be an indicator on how to improve your long-term health. Interesting, right? So if you want to see more of these type of videos, just let me know in the comments below. And also don't forget to subscribe and like to keep updated about upcoming videos just as similar interesting as this one. See you in the next video.